Freaky stuff!
Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Oh, hello. Do you want to come for a boat ride? You'll like it. You will, I promise. Round the world and home again. That's the sailor's way. There's no earthly way of knowing which way the station's going, for I should be creating instead procrastinating. Is it waning? Is it growing? There's no way of ever knowing. And I feel the pressure mounting as my viewers are accounting the days that I've been missing, and I know that they are wishing that I work a little faster and create my next disaster, because all they want to know is when will I post my next video. Oh, now. Resin eyeballs. And I'm going to show you how to make them today on Things and Stuff. I think I call this Resin Eyeball Tutorial. Alright, let's build an eyeball. Gonna grab a ping pong ball and a pen. Pull out the pen bit and get a Stanley knife thing and take that little piece out too, we don't need that. Then we're going to cut a little bit off because we only need a little bit. Grab yourself some super glue and stick it onto the ball. Right, that's the basis for the start of our eye. Then I'm going to give it a quick coat of gloss paint. Actually I think I've stuffed up because I want this thing to be solid because I'm putting it in a pressure pot.
Resin eyeball tutorial, take 2.
Let's build an eyeball. This time we'll cut a hole because we need to fill it up with resin. There we go. Put some glue on there, stick it on. Rightio, we're ready to go. Good little handy tip is to grab some blue tack and just put it around the edge of the just bit there, that bit, yeah. Stick it around there so we don't get any leaks. Now get some resin, put some gloves on, gotta be safe. Part A, bit of part B, give it a good mix. And now we're just going to pour it in, just like that. Okay, hang on. It's not really going in, is it? Still, come on, get in there. Hang on, try again. Just a little bit. Come on, get in there. Yeah, no, come on. Oh, jeez. Come on, just go in there. Yeah, oh, is that working? No, I don't think that's working.
Resin eyeball tutorial, take 3.
Alright, let's build an eyeball. This time we're going to use a syringe. We're going to pump it right in. Mix some resin, put it in your syringe, and squish it in there. Come on, go in. Try again. Oh no, it's not working.
Resin eyeball tutorial, take 4.
Alright, let's build an eyeball. This time I put some air holes there. That way the air can escape and then the resin can go in. Idiot. some blue tack there just to make a little wall. And we squish it right in. Look at that, it worked. Once it was set, now we're ready to go. Nice, rock hard, beautiful. Make sure I put it back on that drill and give it a coat of crystal clear spray. Make it nice and glossy. So we're going to make a mould of it. But first we've got to put a little drill hole through here. And we put in this like metal rod in there. We'll call it our magic stick thingy. Yeah, magic stick thingy. I'll tell you all about that later, but it's very important. Make sure you have a magic stick thingy. Right, PVC or a cup. Well, it's not a cup, it's a lid. Either one will do the trick. We're going to use the PVC. Grab some clay and some clay tools. Cut yourself off some clay. And then using the PVC, I'm going to cut out a little bit of clay. We're going to build a mould. Draw out where the ball goes. Carve that out, don't need that. And then we'll sit the ball in there. Look at that. Then we just build it up around the edges. We want to get it like a nice flat edge all around the ball, but it's got to be like really nice and flat. So you can use your fingers, tools, bang it on the bottom of the table. Doesn't really matter. Just get that in there nice and tight. And smooth out those edges. Make sure that's really flat. You can use tools, all different tools to do it. And then get like a wet brush. Make it really nice and clean. Then we just place that down to register where it's going to go. Pop. Now I'm carving out some grooves, all close to the ball but not quite touching it. They're gonna be our registration marks. That's where the two moulds kind of join and meet and lock into one another. But because it's round, it's not going to be the perfect registration, so we need to put some more registration marks in it just so that you can line them up together. So I'll put probably one here, like that, and another one here. I'll put two close together and then one separate. That way you know which ones are which, you can line them up easy. And you can also put some little holes in there as registration marks. It's not necessary, but yeah, it may make the mould look pretty cool. Right, grab yourself some Vaseline and put it all in your PVC. So make it nice and slippery. And we're going to just line it up there and we're going to squish it all the way down. Actually, we're not going to do that. We're going to cut away all the excess first. Now we're right to squish it down. Nice and gentle. There we go. That's what the inside of the mould looks like. That's the first half. Right, grab some gloss spray again and give it a little coat in there. Wait for it to dry. We're all ready to go. Right, get a scale, cup, and I like to use a metal knife when mixing silicone because metal doesn't seem to put air bubbles in there. We're going to use some Platsil Gel 10. and of course our pressure pot. Whoa, that was fancy. Grabs herself some pigment. Chuck the pigment in the cup there. Just like that. Chuck it in. Pour in half the silicone. And pour in the other half. Same amount for both. Then you're going to mix. Mixing is very important. You have to mix really well. You've got to scrape the sides, mix, turn it around again, scrape, and mix some more. Really mix it thoroughly. Then what I do is I stand on the chair and I pour from a great height. Very thin pour because that gets rid of all the air bubbles. Fill her right up there. There we go. Pop her in and let that cure for 30 minutes. Once she's done, we should have a good mould or half a mould. Clean the clay off. All that excess flushing there, just cut that away. Clean off all the clay and there we go. One half done. Let's get our magic stick thingy again. Just chuck it in there. I'm going to line that up next to the PVC. Mark out where we need to put our hole. And drill the hole. Do the same for the other side. Yep, all good to go. Make sure you Vaseline the inside, it's very important, or otherwise silicone will stick to silicone. So lots of Vaseline in there. And then we're going to use some glue tape just around these little holes here, just to make sure none decides to sneak out. Because silicone's pretty sneaky, it will sneak out if it can. Right, let's get some pigment again. Do the silicone thing, you know, part A, part B. Give it a mix. Mixing's important. Okay, Charles, that's enough. Okay, maybe not. Keep going. Now, okay, now we're pouring. Right. Same as before. In the pressure pot. Wait for it to cure. Pull out your magic stick thingy. And then we've got one part. Get it out of there. Ugh. 2-part mould. Right, that's the mould of our eye. We need to make a copy of that, so we'll put our stick thingy back in there. Squish our moulds together. Grab ourselves some more rotothane or resin. Pour in part A. Pour in part B. Give it a good mix. And we pour it in there. This is going to make us a copy of that eyeball. Chuck it in the pressure pot. Let that set. And there we go. We now have a copy of that eyeball. Put it in the drill here. So what we're going to do now is make this eyeball smaller than the other one. So we're just going to sand away. Just keep sanding, make sure you really work away at all the surface areas there. You want to get it all even and round still. Make sure you grab your little colour pliers there and you want to take a couple of mils off each side. Now for the eye part, you know the eye part, the pupil iris thing? Yeah, well we're going to use this hole punch and we're going to make our iris that big. So we need to sand the front of the eyeball that size. So you just keep sanding away until you get it that exact size. See, like that. Just that size. Alright. As you can see, it fits in there and there's a slight gap. That's going to be where all our clear resin's going to go. Beautiful. Now we need to get the resin in there somehow. Bugger. Alright, we'll grab the Dremel. We're going to carve away a groove in this sticky part. We'll make 3 little grooves, I think, so the air can escape. There we go. So we've got holes now. We can inject our resin, and there's some... Oh, hang on. You know what? I don't think that's going to work. Oh, bugger. Right. Back to the drawing board. That's no good. Looks a bit too small. I'm just not confident it's going to get in there. And the eyeball's a little bit loose too now. What can we do? Alright, grab our original eyeball again. We're going to make the vent holes. Mark off a little bit where you want the stick to go, really close to your big stick pole thingy, and then drill in there a little bit so that you can stick your stick in there. That's going to be one vent hole, that's going to be another one. So we've got 3 little vent holes. One I can inject the silicone and the other 2 will let the air escape. Put a little bit of blue tack around there just to build it up a bit. Alright, we've got our 3 sticks that will allow our silicone to go in, but this mould doesn't have those 3 holes, so we need to make another mould. Again. But we can use this half. Make sure you get some Vaseline. Make sure you cover it all in Vaseline. Silicone will stick to silicone, so you must definitely Vaseline it. Just use your finger, rub it on there. Ooh. Chuck your little eyeball thingy back in there. Place your PVC. And we're good to go. Look at that. Pop her in the pot. Now we just got to pour some more silicone. Oh no. Hang on. Stop. Don't do it, Charles. That's better. We need to put our magic stick thingy in there. Our magic stick thingy is really important, remember? So we'll just slide that in there. Look at that. Straight through. Then I'm going to put some blue tack just around those edges there on the stick thingy. Silicone has a habit of sneaking out of slight holes, so make sure you do that. Right, once again, pigment, silicone, more silicone, and give it a good mix, eh? Pour it in, right up to the very top of that white part again. And then we'll just chuck the lid on. Come on, Charles, get that lid on. Come on, get that lid on. Ah, there we go. And once she's set, we can take her out. Rightio. Take out our magic stick thingy. Pull out the ball, there we go. Oh, a couple of sticks are still stuck in there. Oh, might have to get the pliers to get them out. Oh, hang on. Oh no, that's easy, I can just get them out with my fingers. Alright, there's our old mould, and there's our new one. See the little vent holes there? So now we can inject our clear resin into there, and those other 2 holes will be a good place for the air to come out. Perfect. So we've got our small inner eye, but what we want to do is make a mould of that so that we can keep reproducing it, so we don't have to keep sanding away the bigger one every time. So we need to make a mould similar to this, but a smaller one for that. But we're going to cheat. Instead of building all the clay wall again, we're going to actually use this mould to help us do it. What we want to do is grab a little bit of clay and just chuck it in there like that, see? And then we pop our, just make a little space there, and then squish it in there. Make sure you get your magic stick thingy and pop it through there. This will help register the eye in the right place. There we go. See, that's similar to our old mould, except instead of it being all clay, it's silicone and clay. So we'll just clean it up here, get this clay nice and flat and smooth. We did all the hard work before with all those keys and the registration points. We don't have to do it all again, so we'll just use this mould and to help us redo it. You just get a brush, make it smooth, similar to like before, but half of it's silicone. Doesn't really matter, no one's gonna know. Just clean it off there with a sponge. Make sure you put lots of Vaseline on there again, not too much, just a tad. Rub your finger on it. Slide our little PVC pipe straight back on it again. And this time we're going to use blue. Blue will be the colour for our smaller mould, and the red will be the colour for our bigger mould. That way we won't mix the two up. Fill it up. Put it in the pressure pot. As before, let it set. Pull it out. 1/2's done. Make sure you trim those flashings off again. Clean the clay off the ball. Get it all nice and clean and ready to go. So there's 1/2 of the inner eyeball. Vaseline again, it's important. Make sure you don't forget. Now we squish our PVC on there. Don't forget the magic stick thingy. And we're going to make the second half of this mould. Once again, silicone, mixing, pouring, right to the very top there. Don't go over that white bit. And pressure pot, let it set, and we should have 2 moulds. There we go. And that fits on there, look at that. So now we've got 2 moulds. We've got the red mould, which makes this bigger outer eyeball, and the blue mould, which makes this smaller inner eyeball. Now we can make as many copies of this as we want. As you can see, it's slightly smaller, which is good. It's kind of necessary, actually. So this mould will make heaps more copies of this, which, as you can see, fits inside our bigger mould with the gap. So we're going to get the blue mould here, put some lacquer bands around it. Actually, what we're going to do to help these lacquer bands stay in place is cut some small grooves. Cut one there, another one there, do the same on the bottom, and then you put the lacquer band on there, and that helps keep the lacquer bands in place, just like that. Then we're going to pour some resin and make some more copies of these inner eyeballs. Pour the resin in there. Top it up there. Yep, that's it, good. Once again, pressure pot. Let it set. And there we go. Pull it out of the mould. And now we have another copy of our inner eye. You can see there's like a little bit of a seam there. We can just sand that away. It's a hell of a lot easier than making the eyeball from scratch again. Alright, we've got the two eyeballs. Okay, once you've made as many eyeballs as you want to make, it's time for the irises, which I printed out. Luckily, they're the exact same size as the hole punch I have. What a coincidence, huh? So pop out as many of them as you want. Just keep popping them. It's quite fun actually. Then you pick out the best ones. Then I'm going to use some Mod Podge. I'm going to glue the eyeball or the iris onto the eye. Get it on there, squish it down. And then a good little trick is to push it firmly onto some paper towel. That'll squish out any excess Mod Podge. Or you could use some wood glue or any other kind of adhesive, as long as you get it to stick on there. Now for the painting. I'm going to use some blue, some yellow and some red. We're going to start off with a light wash, so we're going to really water this one down. Give it a good mix. Yeah, that looks like it's mixed pretty well, but it still looks a bit too strong, so we're going to really water it down again. And we're just going to put like a slight yellow haze over the eye, just so it's not so white. Give it a more natural look. Then for the veins, just grab some wool or some yarn or some even string. You pull off little bits, just like that, see? They're little bits. And then for this I'm gonna use some Sculpey gloss. You could use Mod Podge or any other kind of adhesive. I like the Sculpey gloss because it has like a working time that suits me. That's why I use it, see? Then you paint it on. It's good if the cameraman knew what he was doing. Yeah, see how I'm doing that? Idiot. Well, once you've coated the entire eyeball, which you can't see, then, okay, you're painting it. Then you start to stick them down, just place it on there gently. Use your thumb to hold it in place. Just squish it on there. Then get the brush and fan it out there. Make the stringy bits look like veins. Just move it around, push it, pull on it. See, just brush them on there. Make them look like veins. Squish the bigger bits down. Then you do that over and over again. Do it again for the second eye. The third eye. And lucky last. See, that's not too hard, is it? There we have veins on our eyes. Well, kind of veinish looking. Then we're going to get some more of the yellow, maybe a bit of the stronger one. And we're just going to, lightly do a light wash there. Only light, you don't want it too strong. Do it over each eye. Light washes. Just to put a little bit of colour in there, see? Not too much, don't want it looking yellow, but just light yellow. Just like that. Puts a little depth into the eye. Breaks up the stark white colour. White's not a colour, it's actually a shade. Anyway, we're going to do the same thing with some blue. Just water it down, get it really light. Make sure it's a light wash. The good thing about the blue, it sometimes soaks into the veins and makes them look a bit like darker purplier ones. And we're going to do the same with the red. Add a little bit of blue there. See? We've washed the red into the veins. You see on that one there on the right? It dried. I had it too thick. That's what happens when your wash is too thick. So it's kind of left this line there. But it doesn't really matter because these eyeballs you're not going to really see past that part anyway. But this one looks alright. So do the other two. Right, then we're going to get our X-Acto knife or blade, whatever you want to call it. Then you just trim away all the excess. You have to wait for the Sculpey to dry hard, but then once that's done, just keep cutting away. Pull it off, and then you should have a nice clean looking eyeball. That one's ready for casting. And just do the same on all the other eyeballs. And then, we're going to do it again, yeah. Well, keep doing it for all of them. Yeah, I've got to work on my editing, I know. Right, once that's done, we're just going to give them one last coat of gloss. That's just going to make sure it seals all the paint in and make sure all the veins are nice and flat. Nice and shiny. Just like that. Look at those eyeballs, aren't they great? And now for the importance of the magic stick thingy. Now, we made an outer eye, and then we made a red mould of that. That's our red mould. Then, we made a copy of that outer eye, which we then sanded away to make a smaller eye. Then we made a mould of that, the blue mould. Now, we've got the blue mould because we can make as many copies of that smaller eye as we want. Now, this smaller eye fits snugly inside this red mould. But this is where the magic stick thingy does its magic. If we didn't have that magic stick thingy, that eye could fall down and squish up against the mould, and then we wouldn't have an even coverage of clear resin around our eye. So that's why our magic stick thingy is really important, okay? Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a magic stick thingy. Now, we've got our red mould. We place our smaller eye in there. Don't forget the magic stick thingy. Chuck it in there like that. Just squash it straight through there. Perfect. Now we're going to mix up some crystal clear resin. Mixing it slowly. We don't want to introduce any air bubbles. Then we pour some in the bottom half of the mould, just like that. And you can put the thing on there and vibrate it to get some air bubbles out. It works pretty good. And we pour some over the top there. This will help keep the air bubbles out. And then we're going to quickly squish it on there. Just let it slowly squish down. some of the excess resin may come out the top. Put the lacquer bands on there. Then we get some more resin. Suck it up into the syringe. And then we're going to just put it in one of the holes and gently squish until it comes out the top. Just like that, see? Now our mould is full. Pop it in the pressure pot. Lock it up and let that set overnight. Then we pull that out. Yep, feels firm. Pull out the magic stick thingy. And we should have our eyeball. Look at that. Then you get your knife and you cut off the vent hole parts. That's where it all came out. Just cut that off. And there's our eyeball. See the difference? Right, now we need to polish this one up because it's a little bit dull, and you can see there's a seam around there, so we need to sand that off. And to do that, we're just going to put it in our drill here, and we're going to get some 240 grit sandpaper. Click the drill on, get some water, and start wet sanding it. Make sure you go all around the whole eye. You gotta get it smooth, and then you clean it off and work your way up to smaller sandpaper. Keep working up to a finer and finer grit paper until you've got it nice and smooth. Now what you could do here is you could just coat that ball there in resin like I have done with this one. Except there's a bit of a problem. It takes ages to set, and there's a little bit of clean up, and it's messy, and it's not the exact same shape as the inner mould that you had. Oh, look, an air bubble. So we're just going to buff and polish it instead. For this, we're going to use plastics, which is a car polish. It's just a paste. Does the job. So I've got this grinder here, and you can use buffing pads for drills. You just go to the hardware store and get some buffing pads. If you don't have a grinder, you can use a drill, doesn't matter. And then you put some polish there on the eyeball. Slop it on there. Or make sure you put some on your buffing pad too. Mine was wet, so it was all good to go. And then you just work it on the buffing pad there. Move it around. Look at that, shiny already. You just keep working it. You don't want to leave it on too long or you'll burn it. There you go, it's starting to look shiny already. Compared to the other one, it's way better. Oh, it's kind of spooky, isn't it? So then you just polish all the yucky stuff off. Just turn it around in there on a buffing cloth. Heck, oh, that's looking pretty good. It's a nice looking eyeball. So there it is, there's a comparison next to the one I painted resin on. This comes out just as shiny. Looks nice and good. Does the job anyway. So we repeat that with all our eyeballs. More buffing. Don't push too hard. Don't leave it on one spot for too long or you'll burn it. Just keep it moving constantly. Right, now get some Vuplex. That's a plastic polish. Spray it on the buffing, on the eyeball, and then give it a buff. Look at that. Buff it all away, clean it. Do it for every eye. And there we have it. There's our 4 finished eyeballs. All polished, buffed and ready to go. You can do whatever you want with them. You can put them in a puppet, make monsters, scare your friends. Oh, there's so many things you can do with eyeballs. Make soup like Indiana Jones. Oh, that'd be pretty good, wouldn't it? Yeah, so there they are. Yeah, that's about it. If you want to win some of these eyes, just let me know in the comments how many eyeballs I made, and I'll pick out a lucky winner. Yeah, it's not the best tutorial. I hope you understood it. I'm not the best at explaining words and things and stuff like that. Maybe I need a narrator.
Maybe I can help you there, Charles. This episode of Things and Stuff was brought to you by the Magic Stick Thingy.
'Cause Charles makes, Charles creates figs and stuff. Figs and stuff! I just make figs and stuff, yeah. I wonder what I'll be making next.